Hi ladies, welcome to this deeply nourishing yin practice. I am super excited and honored to share this with you. It is a yin practice based around our feminine cycle, our menstrual cycle, the seat of our feminine power. And it's something that we really don't think about that often because we don't really know about it. There's not much education about our cycles. And it's certainly not spread in the media. Really, the only thing out there about our cycles is, periods, gross. Get over it, it's just a period. And actually understanding this cycle that lives within us is so unbelievably empowering. It's what sets us apart from men. Men have a 24-hour clock or cycle, circadian rhythm, that women also have. But us women also have a second clock. And this clock, as an average, is around 28-29 days. But uniquely different for every woman, depending on what's going on for her, the stage of her life. And it's this clock that governs us. It's led by our hormones and takes us on this journey through 4 different phases and through 4 different seasons as we flow from one bleed to the next and so on. So this yin practice is aimed to deeply nourish this feminine power that we have and to drop you into an awareness and a connection. We think about our physical bodies, our energetic bodies. How often do we think about our hormones, our hormonal body, if you like? We're really governed by our hormones, our moods, our sleep, our stress, our eating, our exercise, our fertility, the regularity of our cycles, our sex drive. Everything's governed by these hormones. And sadly, in this day-to-day life, our hormones are out of balance. We're stressed, we're living in our fight or flight, and not a safe place for the body to be. So this practice, whether you're practicing morning, afternoon, or evening, is going to be so deeply nourishing to this hormone body that we have, to the brain, to the organs, and to the body. Because in yin, we don't just ever get one benefit. Each pose brings us this plethora of beautiful benefits. We'll be focusing on completely cooling and calming the system, de-stressing. When we're stressed, it plays havoc with our hormones. We're also going to be working on poses to nourish the kidneys. And we're going to be nourishing our womb, our ovaries, our uterus, and paying a little bit of attention to this part of the body, just trying to reconnect us. Maybe you just think of your cycle as your period, the days that you bleed. And as we move through, I'll add in some explanation just so you leave this practice with a little bit more of an understanding. And maybe it intrigues you to dig a little bit deeper, to understand yourself, because really, understanding your cycle is taking charge of your health. And it's empowering yourself as a woman, to live as a woman and honor yourself as a woman. Because we're magic. Magic. So we're going to arrive into this practice in our first shape. And this is a shape that is always in a yin practice with me because it targets so much of the body in just one simple shape. So if you're sitting on anything, come off and stretch your legs out in front. Just take a moment and release any flesh from around the seat bones. Stretch your legs out in front, and maybe you want to take a pillow, a bed pillow, a sofa pillow, or if you have a bolster, a bolster. And I like to use this to cushion myself as I fold in this shape. So we'll take our legs into butterfly. Draw the soles of the feet together. Heel to heel, toes to toes, and allow the legs to fall out the side. Diamond shape through the legs. And maybe the legs can be nice and long. Or to increase the stretch through the groin, you can draw the feet a little bit closer to the body. Just maybe sway from side to side. Just ease into the legs here. Allow the muscles to start stretching. And then take a nice deep inhale. Find length in the spine as the crown of the head draws up. And as you exhale, start to lead with the heart and fold yourself forward. Now maybe you're fine just here as you are, holding here. Or maybe you'd like to take a prop to cushion yourself as you fold. Completely up to you. And then find your edge in this shape. Your edge is a space where you can stay without harming the body, but where you can feel the pull, feel the opening. Maybe there's a slight discomfort at the groin or the lower back as you pull the tissues apart. And then we commit to our stillness. Using your breath here to bring yourself home inside your body. This beautiful body carrying us through this thing we call life. Notice your breath as you inhale and exhale through the nose, a nice steady pace. Using your breath to soothe. As you inhale, fill yourself up. And as you exhale, start to release and feel the tension just melt away from the body. Take your focus from the external world, the external body, the parts of your body that you can see. And then start to notice the insides, this internal world. The world of our hormones, our tissues, our organs, our blood, our chi. What can you feel? In this yin practice, we stop worrying about what we look like and what the shape looks like, and we just start to allow that to let go, to release from the body, this obsession we have with the physical. And instead we try and feel, listening into the body, getting more intimate with ourselves, more intimate with this world that lives underneath the skin. Now, in this practice, we're nourishing 6 main meridians of the body. Based on traditional Chinese medicine theory, these meridians are like energetic pathways that flood through the body, nourishing our organs and tissues with vital life force energy, with chi, with breath. We're working here with the pair of the kidney and the urinary bladder, the stomach and the spleen, and the gallbladder and the liver. When's the last time you even thought about those organs? But they're working for you right now, even inside this stillness. And you're giving back to them by holding still, by giving yourself some space. Allowing the organs to catch up on all their roles and responsibilities. In our shapes, we pull and we tug, we stretch and we compress our meridians. So that as we come out of the pose, we allow the chi channels to open up again and this energy to flood back to our organs. We remove stale and stagnant energy. And we revitalize the whole system. Our cycles don't function when we're stressed. So a yin practice is a wonderful practice to invite into your life. If you're suffering from any menstrual problems, from irregular or absent cycles, from really bad PMS, from migraines or disrupted sleep,
cooling and calming the central nervous system, to release the stress hormones from the body, to help you find hormonal balance again. We take our final few cycles of breath here. Maybe inviting in a sigh as you exhale. Helping your body to release just a little bit more. And then when you're ready, start to walk your hands up your leg. Maybe keeping your eyes closed so all the focus remains inside. Massaging your legs as you move up. A little bit of love for the body. And then when you reach a straight spine, remove the prop and straighten out the legs. Maybe windscreen wiper the toes, the feet, side to side. And then start to release yourself back. Spine, the back of the body connecting onto the mat. And here we hold in a rebound. In between each yin shape, we'll take a pause to allow the body to integrate. Allow the muscles to register what's been going on, nerves to feel, the chi to flow. And when you take your focus inside, deep within your body, can you feel this chi flush? Can you feel the energy starting to move? Maybe now it's just super subtle. Pay attention. And then as we move through this practice, maybe you feel it a little bit more. On the next inhale, draw the knees towards your chest. Wrap the arms around your shins and hug the knees towards your body. As we do here, we compress our ovaries and our uterus. We compress so that as we release, the blood, the energy and chi can start flowing freely and feeding this important area of the body. In your practice, as you draw your knees towards your chest, have you ever even thought about your reproductive organs? Can you picture them? Can you picture your two ovaries connected to your fallopian tube, which then leads into your uterus? Connecting to this sacred feminine. And then gently move the legs over to one side and roll yourself up. And then spin around to come to lie on your belly. We're going to move into our second shape, into Sphinx. Now in Sphinx, we take our elbows underneath our shoulders and clasp the palms together. Or if you prefer, the palms can be flat onto the mat. Or you may want to rest your lower arms, your elbows onto a cushion or bolster. I like to do this to support and just cushion from the ground. And as the bolster brings the ground closer to you, you can compress through the back a little bit deeper. So find your shape and then press the tops of the feet into the ground. And as you do, feel the front of the pelvis press into the ground as well. And then draw the forearms down and then bring the elbows closer to the body, so subtly. And as you do, can you feel the deepening at the lower back? Compressing the area where the kidneys live. The kidneys and their little friends, the adrenals. Enter into a shape where you can stay for a while. And then as I set our timer, commit yourself to stillness. Maybe your eyes are closed or your gaze is soft. As you take this shape that is so deeply nourishing for the body. In Sphinx, we really target our kidneys and adrenals on a physical level, the area of the body where the kidneys lie, either side of the spine. And also the energetic, the meridian. It runs from the little toe, through the foot and up the seams of the leg, the inner seams, into the groin, entering the upper body, running into the kidneys, and then all the way up to the top. The kidneys and adrenals are the stress management duo of the body. And the more tired we are, the more overworked we are, and the more stressed we are, the more this little duo have to work uber hard. And they're tired. They're tired from these busy lifestyles. They're tired of the stress and the millions of cups of coffee to keep us awake. They're calling for some love and some space. All of us are. Whether we know it or not, stress lives within us, whether it's past stress or present stress, and the kidneys kind of have to play catch up. If your kidneys are like your battery, right now, you're recharging your battery, you're plugging yourself in by simply being still inside of a shape. It's pretty magic. Making sure you're not hanging out in the shoulders by pressing the forearms into the ground and just checking your posture for a moment. Then coming back into your stillness, deeply nourishing stillness. Now, kidneys are so important for our cycle because on an energetic level, the kidneys rule the health of our reproductive organs. So recharging the kidneys is recharging our reproductive organs. Kidneys also filter our blood. Blood so important for our cycles, the health of our blood. And the kidneys contain what's known in traditional Chinese medicine as our Jing, our essential energy. And when the kidneys are working in harmony and in balance, our Jing is topped up. The body's working in balance. And for a healthy cycle, a healthy period, for ovulation to occur, the body needs to be in its optimum health and well-being. Stress can play havoc with our cycles. An unbalanced kidney energy can also play havoc with our cycles, as can an imbalance in any organ of the body. We're so interconnected. We tend to think of our cycles or period by literally just happening in the lower half of our body. But we have what's known as a HPO axis. And this connects the hypothalamus in the brain, the pituitary and the ovaries. And there's this sophisticated communication system that happens between the three to move our cycle through its stages. We have our winter as we bleed, our menstrual phase. And then as we rebirth out of our bleed, we enter into our follicular phase, our spring. Peaking in energy, in our ovulatory, peaking in energy as we ovulate in our summer. And then starting to come down into a hibernation as we prepare for our bleed in our luteal phase, our autumn. And this HPO axis is what's responsible for keeping that cycle flowing. So we want to keep the communication open. And we do this by opening up our muscles, our tissues, our fascia, and our meridians. We have a meridian that runs from our heart, connecting to our womb. Now, in this shape, as we move the heart away from the womb and stretch through the anterior of the body, this front body through the chest, we're stretching this meridian so that as we release into our rebound, our chi and our blood and our energy can start flowing freely from the womb to the uterus. Let's experience this chi flow by taking one more breath. And then as you exhale, start to move your prop out to the side and lower yourself down. Maybe making a pillow with the hands for the head, or releasing the arms down by the side. Keep the eyes closed. Focus in. Introspection, getting to know your body from the inside out. Can you feel your chi flush through the kidney meridian, from the toes up? From the meridian that connects your womb and your heart. Can you notice the sensations or the energetic pulses? Can you notice a deeper connection to your body as we start to get out of our heads and into the body? Getting out of the thinking mind and into the feeling body. Using our body to guide us. Feeling. Listening to more intuitive messages, to the voice of the body. And take the hands underneath the shoulders and start to press yourself up for a moment. And then release yourself down into a child's pose. Maybe taking the knees out wide and the big toes together and just release the bum down. Or just take a couple of breaths here in our child's pose. Stretching out the back in another direction. From decompression to opening through the spine. And then when you're ready, moving super softly into your tabletop. In tabletop, our hands find themselves underneath the shoulders and our knees underneath the hips. Just going to take some free-flowing movements with the body, maybe through cat-cow, inhaling to open the chest and exhaling to round. Closing down your eyes and feeling into this shape. Inviting in more fluidity, more rhythm. Embodying this feminine flow. Easing out the tissues through super soft movement. And using slower, more rhythmic movement to feel. Flowing like water. And then arriving back into your tabletop. I'm going to come into 2 poses, one after the other. And then we'll rebound before we take the second side. We're going to come into sleeping swan, also known as pigeon if you're used to yang practices. We'll start with the left side of the body, our feminine side. Take the left leg out long. Come onto the toes and just for a moment, shuffle yourself forwards and backwards. And then draw that left leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee. Draw the knee across to the left wrist. And then the ankle comes towards the right. Shuffle that back leg, that right leg out as far as it can go. As you shuffle it out, can you feel an opening through the front of that right hip? Ground the hands for a moment. As you inhale, find beautiful length through your spine. And as you exhale, start to lower yourself down. Maybe doing this a few times just to undulate the spine. Keep in with this fluidity, this feminine softness. And then when you're ready, you can start to release yourself down. Maybe you come onto your elbows. And this is your edge for today. Maybe walking the hands out a little bit further so you can release your forehead down. Or, as always, if you'd like to cushion, use your prop, either as a pillow or hug it in close. And soften the ground using this support. Here we remain in stillness, deeply nourishing stillness. Targeting the tissues of the left hip, the left glute, and the outside of the left thigh. Stretching the spine, lengthening here. Pulling on the tissues of the back. And then taking the attention to the right leg, the outstretched leg. Here we're stretching a deep, deep hip flexor known as the psoas. Our muscle of stress and tension. And it lives so deep inside the body that we rarely feel it. And in day-to-day life, we rarely do any shapes which stretch this. But here we do, in this hold. Allowing the psoas to release and let go of its tension. In this deep hip opening shape, we're starting to release tension from around the pelvis. As we know, stress and tension really doesn't match well with our cycles, our menstrual cycles. At times of deep stress, traumatic stress, emotional stress, or even just workplace stress, our periods can stop. Ovulation stops. As a body moves into what's known as fight or flight, your stress response. A response that's been in us to save our lives, to help us run away from danger, like a caveman running away from a saber-toothed tiger. The same reaction happens inside of our bodies, whether we're running for our life or we're just stressed at work. Now, this stress can actually be stress that happens, so external stress. Or it can be mental stress, where we think ourselves stressed. In our fight or flight, adrenaline and cortisol pump through the body, allowing us to run faster and escape. And this puts our hormones out of balance. And we need our hormonal balance to help our cycles flow. Deep within our holds, we're helping to reduce the adrenaline and cortisol from the system, to show our body that she's safe. Our cycles are so sensitive that if she doesn't feel safe, she'll hide away for a while. Because if you're stressed and in danger, your cycle knows. Your cycle is one of the first things to shut away through stress. Because the body knows that conceiving wouldn't save your life. So the body puts all of its energy into being able to do that. And as we move out of stress and come back to safety, the reproductive system can be one of the last systems to come back. But know that she will. If your cycle is irregular or absent, then have you been stressed, or what's been happening in your life that may have caused this? Know that she'll come back with time and patience and trust. But take actions in your life to help her do that. Acknowledge her and love her and help her feel safe. Stay in this stillness. Breathe into any sensations arising inside the physical body, nourishing the tissues as they open and release. Always space to sigh out as you exhale, softening a little bit more. And then we take one deep, nourishing breath. Before starting to peel ourselves up. Draw the hands up so the spine returns to straightness and the blood returns from head down. Pause here and just notice what's going on for you. Maybe emotions have been rising to the surface, and welcome them. Allow yourself to feel. And then moving the weight over to the left. We're going to swing our right leg round so that knees sit on top of each other. You might need to use your hands to just wiggle yourself into this shape, to this shoelace. So we're not sitting on our feet here. Feet are out to the side and knee is stacked on top of knee. If you need some more height, maybe prop yourself up on a pillow or a bolster if you have one handy, or even a block or a book. And if there's a gap between the knees, maybe a cushion in between there as well. And then once you've wiggled yourself into this shape, relax through the shoulders and just soften yourself in. You have the option to stay upright here and just feel this deep opening through the hips. Or invite in a fold. And if you're folding, as always, we inhale to find our length, space through each vertebrae as we grow taller. And then exhaling, starting to fold. And then finding your shape. And then committing to this nourishing stillness. As always, if you'd prefer, cushioning your fold with a bolster. As your legs cross at your groin, nourishing your ovaries and your uterus. The health of these organs are vital vital for your cycle and your fertility. In the fold, we bend through the heart to womb meridian. And we're also working with the meridian of the kidney and the liver and the spleen, all through the compression at the groin. Now, these three organs are essential for our blood. The blood's controlled by our heart, but the spleen governs the blood. The kidneys filter it, and the liver stores and distributes it. Nourishing these three organs, their meridians and their physicalness, nourishes your blood. We're also helping our cycles by folding ourselves forward and stretching through the back. Stretching our urinary bladder that runs all the way down the back of the body. Connecting to the brain to cool and calm the central nervous system and ease away any stress. Keep breathing into this shape, nourishing your body with breath. Keeping present on your mat inside of your body. And take your attention to your womb space. Where attention goes, energy flows. Maybe you notice some sensations or even some heat arising. We stay still for our final cycles of breath. And then if you're folded, start to ease yourself back up out of this shape. I always like just giving myself a little massage on the way, showing my legs that I love them too. And then take the hands behind the body, hang out in your palms and start to untangle your legs. Move ever so slowly. The blood supply may have stopped and ease your legs out. And just hang back in the hands, opening the chest and allow the feet to flop from side to side. When you're ready, move the hands out of the way. And start to release yourself down into your rebound, this pose of integration where the body gets a chance to just notice what happened. The central nervous system registers this calm state. And it starts to change from stressed to relaxed. A place of balance where our hormones function just as they are supposed to. And our cycles feel safe. Can you notice your chi flush? The sensations now running through the body, electrical pulses, feeding your organs, your tissues. A healthy inside is a healthy outside. And then when you're ready, draw the knees to center. Flop yourself over to one side and then make your way up. We're going to meet back in our tabletop. And just like we did before, allowing some movement to flow into the body, undulating the spine. Taking some circles with the hips just to soften the tissues. Keep the blood moving, the flow cyclical flow that us women live in. Keep it moving, keep it nourished. Maybe you rock forwards and backwards or side to side. What feels good for you. Always moving with your breath. Opening up the spine and nourishing the spine so that the messages can run from brain down to body. Our cycles are a wonderful example of our mind and body connection, starting in this hormone headquarters of the brain, and then traveling down to your womb, communicating what needs to be done and releasing the specific hormones that the cycle needs to flow. Come into stillness for a moment. And then we move this little sequence over to the right. Step the right leg back, coming onto the toes, and then just pulse forwards and backwards really slowly. And then lift up that right leg, bend the knee. Draw the knee towards the right wrist and the ankle over to the left. And then slide that left knee back. Remembering here that we're stretching through the psoas. Wiggling yourself down, just working into the tissues. And then come into your edge on this shape. Maybe it feels slightly different than the other side, and that's completely natural. We all tend to have one side much more open than the other. Maybe we stand with more pressure on one foot than the other, or sit cross-legged. Kick with one foot, hold our bags on one side. We all seem to have a favorite side, and it's normally the right. I find my right hip so much tighter than my left, so I have to work extra deep and focus myself to remain in stillness here. Notice which side it is for you. And then as you exhale, find yourself deep in your yin hole, this cocoon of a shape, and commit to stillness. So do you ever feel like there's a week, a month where you're really energetic, hornier than you normally are, craving more light foods, and wanting to be super social? Maybe it's the week that you feel that you can challenge yourself more at the gym, lift heavier weights or run that little bit further, or sprint that little bit faster. This tends to be when we ovulate. In the first half of our cycle, we have estrogen as our dominant hormone. And as estrogen rises out of your bleed, through your follicular phase and into your ovulation, energy rises. Your want to be social and more extroverted rises. Your metabolism is naturally slower, so you don't really crave as much food and you can do more on less. Estrogen is the hormone that wants you to go out, have sex, and conceive. So she makes your features more symmetrical, your boobs a little bit plumper, and gives you this inner radiance, this confidence. It's a time of the month to book in your social plans and go out with your friends, have a flirt, play and have fun. And then after you ovulate, estrogen starts to drop off. And progesterone, your sloth-like hormone, starts to rise. Now, if estrogen is your energy, your social hormone, then progesterone is a hormone that takes you inner, just like our yin practice. Starts to connect you deeper to yourself as you start to feel a little bit more. The rose-tinted glasses of the first half of your cycle start to come off, and progesterone helps you to evaluate your life, to check in with how you are and what areas of your life maybe need a little bit of editing. Your metabolism in this half of the cycle is naturally quicker. So you can find yourself craving more heavier foods, and that's okay. Allow yourself those sweet potatoes or that beautiful sourdough bread. Make yourself warm and nourishing foods to nourish your body as she prepares you for your bleed. This is the time of the month that you start to slow down your exercise. As estrogen still remains high, you can still go to the gym and lift your weights and engage in the activity that maybe you love doing. But as estrogen starts to drop off and plummet, and then as progesterone starts to reduce itself as the body realizes she's not pregnant, your energy levels fall to their lowest. Around 5 days before your period, the body needs love and self-care and nourishment. It doesn't need stress. The stress of not eating enough or the stress of too much exercise. Knowing that, how could you adapt your idea of self-care during your cycle? Now that merely touches the surface of all the wisdom of our cycles, but maybe gives you a little light bulb moment to take away. Breathe into the tissues as they start to open and release. Can you feel this opening in the right hip and the outside of the top of the right leg? The tissues may be pulsating. Sensations rising, heat generating. Just a few more breaths. You've got this, babe. Stay focused and anchored with that breath and nourish your body, drawing in this new energy. And then allowing it to flow inside the body, preparing for the release, feeding the meridians. As you inhale again, start to walk yourself up, also slowly. Ground the hands and just pause to allow the blood to return to its natural flow. And then take the weight over to the right side. Help the left leg round with the hand, coming into shoelace on the other side. Wrap that left leg round and remove the toes from under the bum. Again, as always, if you need, propping yourself up. Maybe even propping underneath that left knee. Ground the seat bones, length in the spine. And then if you'd like to fold yourself forward, start to move yourself down as you exhale. Come into your edge, the place where the body says, yeah, I'm here, it's enough. No pain, just maybe some sensations. And if they're intense, that's okay. We're working deep inside the body. But if there's any pain, please back out. No pushing in this practice. We're not in our masculine now. We're in our feminine. This soft, flowy-like energy. It's full of nourishment and love for the body. As you find your edge, now we stay a while and commit to stillness. In this shape, nourishing for our ovaries. As we work deep into the hips, is there anything arising for you? Any feelings, emotions coming up to the surface? That's so natural. Allow them to come, but then allow them to flow, passing by like clouds in the sky, non-attachment and non-judgment to whatever arises. Exhale them out if it helps, and then come back to center. I love this cycle awareness work so much because it helps you really truly live your life as a woman. Brings in compassion to who you are and what you're currently working with, understanding your phases, and then empowering yourself by knowing every day what day of your cycle you're on, so that you can slightly adapt your life to honor that. Knowing when you're at your most naturally social and energetic, and then knowing when maybe it's best just to stay in and nourish yourself. Compassion to the foods that you eat and the exercise that you do. Because we're so used to this yang energy, this doing energy and achieving energy. Sometimes not going to the gym or saying no to a class makes us feel lazy. And yes, sometimes that's the reason, but if it's due near your period, then maybe it's because your body just needs some rest. How would it feel if you allowed that rest? That you listen to your body rather than push against her natural flow. Just allow that to resonate with the body and notice how she responds. Maybe this is the start of a new and beautiful, loving